Hello and welcome to Snore and Roar, a Pokemon podcast. I won't never do it that fancy again, but first episode, you gotta nail it the first time to really hook people.
Everything down from here will be downhill.
Hook, it's a punch joke. We're a new Pokemon podcast because there's not enough of those on the planet. At least I don't think there is, to be honest, because I don't really listen to any except one of them, and it's because my friends do it. Two of them because of friends do it. So there's a lot of friendship involved. But so I am Brian, otherwise known as Shuki on the internet, but you probably know who I am because I'd be advertising this show, and you probably would have seen that and then decided to listen to the show because of the advertisement. So you probably know who I am, but even if you don't, hello, get to know me.
And I'm Devin, also known as Joker13DX. I'm the guy maybe 4 of you guys will ever see my promoting of it for.
Not after this episode. You could be popular, bro.
Yeah. Maybe.
Popular, like Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, there'll be
He's a champion.
never-ending beratements of merch and reboots of me. Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to host the show with the Devin that's a champion.
And completely different animation style, even though I'm a real person. And everyone will say that I'm inferior.
This one's
way
inferior
better
to the other one. No, this one was a champion. The other one wasn't a champion, but his team was better.
Already off to a great start.
Yep. Nope. This is exactly how I figured it was going to. All right. So we're going to be kind of going a little all over the place in the show, both literally and figuratively, because focusing on one facet of this franchise just isn't fun. So we're going to focus on all of the facets of the franchise all at one time, at the same time, with no particular order whatsoever. No, we're going to have order, trust me. A little bit of order.
Chaos reigns.
We both love Pokemon a lot. Most people that know me probably know me through the Tokusatsu or Power Rangers community, but Pokemon is and always will be my number one favorite franchise. And I hope that this show can kind of give me a little bit bigger of an outlet into that community, because outside of doing organizing and stuff, which we'll get into later for the card game in my area, I just don't have a whole lot of reach in the Pokemon community, I guess. And I'm hoping this kind of gets me out there a little bit. And I'd love to be a bigger part of the Pokemon community. So we'll get to more formal introductions soon. But first, I want to just kind of go over the structure of the show, what we're going to be doing. Like I said, we're going to be focusing on all the different facets of the brand. So obviously we're going to be talking about news and reviews and stuff of the anime, of the video games, of the toys, of the card game. Movies, which is anime adjacent. If the topic ever comes up, the manga, I love to talk about the manga sometime, but I haven't read most of the manga.
Oh, that is such a scary hole that we could fall into.
Maybe someday. But
maybe.
Yeah, so... Like I said, a lot of people know me from the Power Rangers community. I'm a big toy collector and card game player. So obviously a lot of my push in this show is going to be knowledge of the toys and the card game and all that. But I also watch the anime every week and play all the video games. So, I mean, I'm a quadruple threat, but... but my favorite aspects are definitely going to be card game and merch stuff, because I just like throwing money away at materialistic things. So that's my life. So we're gonna start every show with the news. So we'll go over all of the news regarding all the different facets of the brand, and then we'll go into kind of a free-for-all of whatever is on our minds that week, be it a story about something that happened in the video games or the card games, or some cool things that we've gotten toy-wise, stuff like that. And then every episode we will be discussing the newest episode of the anime on the Japan side of things, because a lot of people discuss the anime as it's airing in the US, but the current running show in Japan, which will air here probably in 2 or 3 weeks, maybe, as long as there's not a break between the Sun and Moon arc and the start of the next arc. I don't know if there is or isn't. Disney's very flip-floppy on how quickly they start things. But,
still weird to me, Pokemon's on Disney.
yeah. No, I'm still not quite used to that. I'm not used to going to DisneyNow.tv or whatever it is to watch Pokemon. But
they will control us all.
That's kind of a rough outline. There we go. This is an outlet. An outline of the outlet of what this show is going to be. But as you can already tell, we're going to be all over the place because that's just how we roll.
So don't get your hopes up.
Don't get your hopes up on anything that has any sort of order, because that's just not possible.
No.
But I have been going for a while now, so if you want to go over your history of the brand before I go on a huge tangent about my history, feel free. So go for it.
So for me, with Pokemon, or just me as a whole, I'm very kind of same vein as you of like, Toku and various other stuff that I'm into. But Pokemon's kind of always been that one thing that never really went away, even when I hit points of like not being as, big in all this stuff. But even then, there was always that interest for Pokemon, like consistently, even if I wasn't like all the way in it.
Right.
But started with the anime for me, watched it growing up, saw the first movie theaters. It wasn't until the third generation with Fire Red and Leaf Green that I actually finally got to start playing the games. And just kind of since then, it's been a real just constant through. Really, really got full on back into it around Unova, which is why Unova's like hands down one of my favorite generations. Don't give me crap for it, because Unova's good and you're just wrong.
Good games.
Yes, with good Pokemon, regardless of what people try to say. People just butthurt that there's a ice cream Pokemon when literally there was a ball with eyes and a seal called Seal.
I could go on for probably an entire episode about how people just trash on some of the newer Pokemon designs, and they're like, they're running out of ideas. Like, Gen 1 was a ball, a seal, a half dozen of eggs,
3 piles of
goop,
3 piles of goop,
a magnet. I'm like, Gen 1, as much as we nostalgize over Gen 1, it's a word, look it up.
I'm not going to tell you how to spell it.
Their like designs, while enjoyable and nostalgic, are not that thought out. Like,
well, even like you look at like Galar, like the amount of effort that people are starting to notice goes into like the design for some of these guys. Like, it's not just like, oh, it's an animal kind of thing, or it's a thing. Like, they keep getting better with the designs. Like, more and more each generation, there's less Pokemon getting revealed that I'm like, on. But like, these past like 2 generations especially have just been like home runs like whole way through, which gets me into another thing of, so like when I started kind of venturing into like buying merchandise and all that, it really kicked in with Alola, which is one of my other all-time favorite regions. For the most part, it's mainly just figures and a couple accessory things like Z crystals, all that. Probably over time I'm going to start dumping more money into it because Pokemon. And thanks to you, I'm slowly venturing near the chasm that is the TCG.
Yeah, you are.
Which
I will push you right into that pit.
Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna
Don't touch me. You will fall right into the pit and you will not come out.
I just kind of gave up.
As you should.
But the big thing for me, it's video games through and through. That will be always the thing that sticks through to me. I love looking into like the world, Pokemon in general, like learning as much as I humanly can about it, because this franchise is just so great and amazing. And on multiple occasions, the situation will probably come up. You'll probably hear me gush about Ultra Beast a lot on this show. Get used to it. They're my favorite group of Pokemon. Don't at me. Pretty much, yeah, just we're 2 people who are super passionate about Pokemon, and you're just gonna sit here and listen to us gush about it nonstop.
Hope that's what you're here for. So I kind of went into a lot of things earlier when I was introducing the show because I can't keep a thought straight in my head for anything. But yeah, so when my first memory of Pokemon came about when they started advertising the original Red and Blue in Nintendo Power. And then shortly thereafter, they had this Pokemon Power insert that was in the Nintendo Power issues. And they would go over like a chunk of the game and the Pokemon and everything like that. And I just remember as I would have been, let's see, Pokemon came out in 98 here. So I would have been 11? No, 9? Math is hard. 9.
That would have been 22 years ago?
Yeah, 9. I was right. Math is hard.
It is.
Look, I don't even remember how old I am half the time, so you just gotta have to bear with me. And just falling in love with these creatures. And then the game came out, and I was addicted to the game, played through both copies of the game, front to back, completed the Pokedex, all that jazz. Got Mew when they distributed Mew at one of the mall tours. That was a big thing for me. I still have the little certificate somewhere in my room at my parents' house. No idea where it's at, but it's there somewhere. And it's something that never really left. There was a period during Gen 3 around Ruby and Sapphire where I was still very much into Pokemon. I still very much loved Pokemon, but it wasn't as much on my radar as it was previously and now. But I think around the time I did finally eventually finish Ruby. I think I was playing Ruby. It was Ruby or Sapphire. I don't know which one I was playing as my main game. And I beat it, and it kind of clicked back, and then Fire and Leaf Green came out, and obviously the little nostalgia kick pushed me back in. And then when Emerald came out, played through Emerald, and then Diamond and Pearl really kind of sealed the fact that I was going to be with this franchise for the rest of my life, or the franchise's life, whatever comes first. The franchise will outlive me. I'm fully prepared for that.
Still weirds me out to think probably in our lifetime there will be 1,000 Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, what are we at now?
890, I think.
890 something.
Not counting DLC.
Yeah,
and not counting, alternate forms, Alolan, Galar forms, all that.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be looking at 1,000 next gen for sure.
Probably, yeah.
Which is hopefully still a little bit of ways. I'm not ready.
Yeah, no, like I want to stay with Galar just a little bit longer.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to stay there for quite a bit. But yeah, and like I said, I was always into the card game. When the card game came out, I started collecting, and then eventually I learned how to play. And that's also something that's always just stuck with me. I've made so many friends through attending leagues and tournaments. And then eventually I started running the tournaments. I'm a tournament organizer in my area for league challenges, leagues, league cups, pre-releases, things like that for my local game store. And I love it. I love doing it. It's great to just see the local community grow. And of course, there's times where it shrinks too. And then it's always really cool to see new people come in and kind of fill the holes that people left behind when they kind of like left the community. And so it's great to just kind of see that continue to grow as I continue to host tournaments. And I still play. I don't play as much, obviously, because I'm always running the tournaments. But watching the championships on Twitch and watching my own tournaments as I'm judging them and running them is just kind of how I keep up with the game. At this point, I play for fun and organize, but I still collect all the sets, all the core sets anyway. I could go on another tangent about the rainbow rares and stuff, but I won't do that here.
I mean, the 9 million versions of every like super rare or special card.
It's terrible. And so
now you see why I'm scared.
Yeah, no, exactly. Just don't fall that far down. Just have fun with it, but just don't go crazy with it. And toys, I've always bought all the toys and watched the show since it started airing on, I think UPN is the first place that aired it in my area. Then eventually
it was Kids W. Yeah, by the time I was in it, it was Kids WB.
Yeah, it started on UPN, which I don't think every place had whatever UPN was, but I think that's where it started in my area, and then it moved to Kids WB and then Cartoon Network after Kids WB.
Yes.
And then
because I think it stayed with WB till what, Gen 5, maybe?
Yes. I want to say yes. I honestly have no idea. I know Black and White was on Cartoon Network. I know that.
Yeah.
It's the other ones I don't particularly remember. No, it might have switched at Diamond and Pearl.
Well, Gen 4 is still kind of my haziest of time period with it, so...
Maybe not. I don't know. That's a trivia question for me to look up another time. I don't want to right now. But yeah, that is a good question. So yeah, I've been in this franchise since I was 9, and I'm turning 31 next month. So,
and for me, probably like 5 or 6, and then I'm 24 now.
Nice.
So
Pokemon's great, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our histories. You'll learn more as the show progresses, I'm sure, because I'm a big ball of stories regarding Pokemon and Pokemon tournaments and stupid little tidbits and stuff like that. So it will be fun. It'll be a fun time. I promise you.
And the other kind of key thing I think with this podcast is like, and this will probably be the only time we kind of venture into this, of like, this past year has also just been like kind of a hostile at times time to be a Pokemon fan.
That's an understatement.
But
oh boy, Twitter is a minefield.
I think the key thing of this is like, we're gonna keep this a safe space of just enjoying Pokemon. We're not gonna, report any of the drama or insanity. Like, we'll report like things as they happen, but it's only gonna be in the vein of like what main news we get of all that. We're not gonna get in all the hate and nonsense of it. This is like a happy place.
This is a happy, drama-free zone. Keep your nonsense out.
Yeah, the only nonsense is the chaotic nonsense of the show.
Correct. And that's happy nonsense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess without further ado, we can go ahead and jump into the news. But before that, I kind of wanted to explain the name of the show.
Oh yeah, we should
do it at the beginning, but I just kept wanting to jump head first into it.
Yeah.
And so we're Snore and Roar, which, like, at first glance doesn't have a whole lot to do with Pokemon. However, both Snore and Roar are Pokemon attacks. But my favorite Pokemon...
God, what if that was the reason we named it this?
That was just the reason. There was no other reason besides that. No, but my favorite Pokemon is Snorlax.
Just a picture of 2 TMs.
Just 2 discs. Oh, that would be terrible. That's a terrible idea. So
maybe we'll make that our April Fool's Day episode thumbnail.
Yes, I know. I'm down for that.
I'll just play audio of the attacks.
So my favorite Pokemon is Snorlax. It's something that didn't really click for me until I think Gen 4, because I fell in love with Munchlax. And then just kind of as I got older, I started to realize that just loafing around and sleeping is great. And so I started to appreciate Snorlax's existence quite a bit. He's always been a really cool Pokemon to me. But ever since I fell in love with Munchlax, like Munchlax and Snorlax have always been my little duo of favorite Pokemon. And so, like, I'm the I hate being called the Snore part of the show. But there you go. I'm the Snore part of the show.
Hey, as we've learned through various means, Snorlax can wreck stuff.
Oh yeah, he's a big boy.
And with the power of Z-moves, can run at like a freight train speed.
Pulverizing pancake.
God, Z-moves are great. And for me, it's my all-time favorite Pokemon is Snorlax. Damn it. I don't even know if I'm going to edit that out. I'm just going to leave it in.
You thief. Welcome to the Snore and Snore podcast.
That'll just be when we're like half asleep.
We're vaguely about Pokemon, but it's mostly just about sleeping.
We're just giving away all our
your favorite
Days episodes.
I got a new comforter today, and it's terrific.
Hell yeah.
I didn't get a new comforter. I wish I did.
Yeah, mine's getting kind of old, too. Back to Pokemon. But my favorite Pokemon, hands down, is Incineroar. Incineroar is my favorite starter of all time. The whole line is great because I love dark types. Incineroar's just got personality. I love him so much. If Pokemon were real and I had just every starter to choose from, I'm grabbing Litten. Like, no question. So that was kind of the idea of it. Helps also in the vein of, you know, kind of two polar opposites in terms of Pokemon. But then the names rhyme. So yay.
So that was our goofy name. It rhymed, and it had both of our favorite Pokemon in the title, and they're both attacks, and it just all merged together. And
It's a
good name. It's a good name.
Yeah.
It's a unique name. I like it.
Hell yeah.
I hope we like it because we picked it. So.
And it's not changing. Unless it's for a joke.
Right. Snore and Snore, here we come. And we also have to do Roar and Roar, which we just yell the entire time.
Just us blasting air horns into the mic for 30 minutes.
Burr, 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 burr.
That's your tutorial on how to completely lose your viewership.
Oh, trust me, I know how to lose viewers. I never had them in the first place. I know. So on to some news. A lot of this is going to be probably Toy Fair. The display at Toy Fair wasn't as big as I would have liked it to be, obviously, because I love Pokemon and want more toys. But we'll get to that in a moment. I figure for like this news segment, it'll just be most of the stuff that's happened throughout the different facets. Thanks to like Cerebi and Poke Beach and Poke Jungle and all those wonderful places that deliver the news. The Oceania International Championships was this weekend. You can catch all of the streams on the Twitch page, and they're putting up the finals and stuff on the YouTube page.
I've seen them pop, the live streams popping up on YouTube too.
The full day might still be on YouTube too. I know they were at one point, but I don't know if they take them down after or not. But yeah, so that happened. Again, I could spend an entire episode going over the current state of the meta of the TCG and why I don't like it. But that is not a topic for today. But it is something that happened, so if you are interested in the TCG or the video game, both occurred this weekend in Melbourne, Australia. So you can go check those out. I definitely recommend checking out the video game juniors finals. Juniors are the youngest division. A 7-year-old girl won.
Oh, the one with the Eevee plush, right?
And she read her opponent like a book. It was amazing. You watch this going, how does she win? And you just, when you see it, it's like you just can't help but smile. She's going places. Like if this girl isn't in like the tops of all these like internationals and stuff that she attends, I'd be very surprised. She's got a lot of skill for her age. And it'll be very interesting to see where her career goes because she topped twice. Like she just started this year.
Wow.
And by this year, I mean 2020. I don't mean 2019. And she topped I forgot where what country he was from, but he's won numerous internationals. He's won like 21 regionals since he started playing. He's an insanely good player, and she read him like a book, and it was great to watch. Kids are great sometimes,
except when they're not.
Correct. So that is something that happened. I do urge you to go, particularly the finals of each game is always really fun. But if you want to skim through the streams, they should all be available. So that happened. Pokemon Day is technically today when you're listening to this. Hopefully,
everything goes all right.
Everything goes all right. So happy Pokemon Day.
I hope you're enjoying the new mythical.
Yeah, we don't know what it is at this time, but we will talk about it next time we record.
Yes, I look forward to our new demon monkey savior.
Yes, that he's gotta be a monkey. Look at him. But
if he's not, I'm ready either way.
Oh yeah, I'm good either way.
I still love how quickly everybody jumped onto the train when we first got the partial tease of like, oh, it's this little thing with giant legs.
Right?
And then it's like, no, it couldn't be further from that.
My favorite thing is when it was the acorn. from
Acorn Duck.
Acorn Duck.
He constantly lives in pain.
Correct. You would too if you had an acorn lodged into your skull.
To the point it's like impacting.
But in honor of Pokemon Day, the dub of the Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution movie is airing on Netflix. So go check that out if you haven't yet. We will more than likely be talking about that next week or next recording as well. If you play Pokemon Go, in honor of Pokemon Day, there's some Party Hat, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtles that will be exclusive to the game during this period, which is the 25th to March 2nd. So you got a bit of time. So you can go join in on the Pokemon Day festivities on Pokemon Go, as well as the new Mythical. And so lots of cool stuff happening today. Obviously, it's Pokemon Day, and it's a day to celebrate.
And yesterday will have also been the next trailer for the Pokemon movie Coco.
Yes, which we'll also be talking about.
Yep.
In this episode, we talk about all the things we're going to talk about next time. Which is the state of Pokemon news. Because there isn't a whole lot going on besides some cool stuff's happening very soon.
Yeah, no, it needs to hurry up and be June.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's just true. I need some DLC in my life.
Hell yeah.
There is a lot of new TCG figure collections and V-Boxes and such that are on the horizon as well. There's a Sword and Shield figure collection coming out that features a figure of Scorbunny, Sobble, and Grookey together. They're playing, and a full art Pikachu card that has them in the background with, I think, 4 booster packs. So a typical TCG figure collection that is on the way and will be releasing in May. We got a Poltegeist V box coming with the Poltegeist V card, which is also coming out in May, about the same time as the figure set I just talked about. And around that same time, again, the second Sword and Shield set, Rebel Clash, will be releasing. We got some images of the Elite Trainer box featuring Capparaja, which looks really cool because Capparaja is an amazing Pokemon. I love
Should have been Toxtricity.
You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. I will not argue that in the slightest. But those will be hitting. When does the set fully release?
Well, you're looking for that one quick side tangent.
May 1st. Again, everything is on May 1st. May 1st expensive.
It is some hot nonsense that Poltegeist or Sinistea can't learn Scald.
Right?
Like, you're making a Pokemon that's T. 90% of the time you make it's going to be scalding hot when you take the first sip.
My friend pointed out today that Machamp can't learn Drain Punch.
Huh.
I'm like, he's got 4 hands. Like, come on.
One of those hands got to steal life.
One of those hands got to be a Soul Sucker. Speaking of Soul Suckers, here's my dog in the background. Which one are you?
Who's that dog?
That's Zeus. He's my boy dog. I got 2 dogs. You'll probably hear them very much in the background because my house is a zoo. And unfortunately not a zoo of Pokemon, but a zoo of real animals that don't shoot fire from their mouths and cool stuff like that. They just pee and poop on the ground.
Throw them out.
Clearly not as exciting as Pokemon is. But, and
probably equally as hard to take care of, probably.
Well, no, absolutely. They're literally like toddlers. And for those that are still enjoying the Alolan Sun, the Tapu Pin Blister is also coming in May, but the later part of May. And it will contain 2 booster packs and pins of Lele, Bulu, and Feeny. I think they are just individual little blister packs. They're not like a big box or anything like that. Previously, pins of Lele, Bulu, and Feeny were only in this big Island Guardian pack. That was really expensive.
Tapu Koko, like in one of those like $14.99 little sets.
Yeah, Coco was in the Island Guardian set as well. It looked a little bit different than the other pin, but there was a Coco pin available in I think it was a $14.99 little box that they were doing at the time. So if you missed out on that because it was quite an expensive box, and I think the pin set was only at Target because the mass retail one was had a playmat with it instead. So the pins were
Guardian one or the
The Island Guardian one.
I don't think I ever saw that. Then
So
again, it's not as on my radar as it is with you.
So if you did miss out on those pins, you will have another crack at them come this May. So good, because I've actually seen quite a few collectors on Twitter kind of complain about how they missed out on those pins because they were quite hard to get.
Pokemon makes really good pins.
Yes. Even if you aren't like a fan of the TCG, they do a lot of pin sets and figure sets. And the figures are usually always sculpted by Kyoto. Great company, and they make super quality looking little figures. And the pins are always top notch.
Oh, back when
top notch.
The Mythical Celebration was going on, I bought the Darkrai one. Didn't collect the cards at the time. I bought it for the Darkrai pin.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you at all. I do not blame you
Darkrai
whatsoever.
Even with his weird extendo legs.
Yeah, those are weird, but that's fine. So May is going to be expensive for the card game, which I knew going in because it's going to be a new set. The first release of the set is always a really expensive time because they throw multiple little promotional boxes at you. They're like, buy all our stuff. I'm like, okay. And then I do.
It makes me glad I'm just dipping my toes around that time.
Yeah, I'll push you in, don't worry.
I know.
You'll dip your toes in the pool and I'll just come from behind you and just push you in.
And I can't swim, so.
No regrets. You drown in the Pokemon, Devin. You drown in the Pokemon.
I mean, there's worse ways to go.
You're right. You could drown in water and not Pokemon.
Yeah, water's boring.
So many water Pokemon. So yeah, is there anything that you can think of besides Toy Fair stuff that I didn't mention? Like I said, the new anime should be starting soon, I would think, because they're already so behind.
Sun and Moon's just about wrapping up now.
Yeah, Sun and Moon has 1 or 2 more episodes.
Maybe I could see them because I think they did it for Sun and Moon also. Like, didn't we get like the first couple episodes like way ahead of when it was supposed to, and then like a couple months later we got it like proper?
Yeah, I think they did that with Sun and Moon. It was a while ago, so I don't remember, but they did do that a couple times.
Because I think it was like the first 2 episodes, something like that.
Yeah, we're like I said, we're so behind, and it's bothersome to me because there was a point where we were only like maybe a month to a month and a half behind Japan.
Yeah,
and then they took like a break, and then we just got further behind, and now I think we're 16 episodes behind, something like that.
Well, plus changing networks probably has its own fair share issues.
So it's a whole ordeal, but it should be starting soon. I'm looking forward to checking out the dub, even though I'm watching the subs at the moment.
Yeah, which is still taking my brain a second to be like, wait, what city are they talking about? What Pokemon?
I really wish there was a subgroup. Currently, I think Some Stuff is the only group that's doing Pokemon. But I really wish they either had an option or there was a subgroup that subbed it using the English names for things.
Yeah, because like when I was watching the second episode, and they're like, oh, this lab's opening up in, I can't remember the Japanese name for it. But I'm like, what the hell city is this? I look it up, I'm like, oh, that's Vermilion.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm not super familiar with the Japanese terms for a lot of like the Pokemon and the they do a fairly decent job of usually translating the attacks properly.
Yeah.
But like the characters and the cities and all that I'm not super familiar with, so it's always kind of a weird guessing game that I have to do when I'm watching the subs. So I really wish there was maybe a multi-track sub.
Yeah.
Which is something that you could do, but I understand they don't particularly want to
because they gotta
put
make
extra work on
money,
them.
Brian.
You're right. Yeah, so I think that's it. So we can kind of hop into New York Toy Fair. There was a little bit of Pokemon stuff that popped up, and unfortunately I got off my page. There we go. And so Wicked Cool Toys has license for Pokemon in the United States. Tomy, for some reason, no longer has it. Probably has to do with money. or the fact that they have nothing, but that's not either here nor there. So the transition from Wicked Cool to Tomy was very easy in a lot of regards because the product lineup barely changed.
Yeah.
There was still like belts and the clip and carry Pokeballs and the little catch Pokeballs and the plushes and the 2-pack of figures and the little bigger figures and like the action feature figures, even though Tomy's action feature figures were a lot better.
Well, because they were actually like figures and not gimmick statues.
Correct. That
Which I will always be bitter about.
But the product skeleton is kind of very much the same as Tomy's, so the transition wasn't too crazy.
But, I guess it's a case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So one of the product designers posted some pictures on their personal Twitter and showed off some of the products. First and foremost, because it's first on this list, and also because it's the best thing that they could possibly show. The Snooze Action Snorlax. Snooze Action Snorlax. And let me tell you, anyone that got press releases for Pokemon stuff, even though I do, sent this to me, going, look, you need to see this. I'm like, ah. And so this is the same sort of toy as, I forgot what kind of gimmicky name that they gave it, but there was a Pikachu when Wicked Cool first got the license, and then the one that they did after was a Charmander. And so now there is a Snorlax. It comes with this little plastic Pecha Berry, and you feed the Snorlax. Feed as in you just shove the plastic Pecha Berry next to its mouth, and it makes eating noises. And I honestly don't care. This Snorlax is just, he's big, fat, happy, and makes noise, and that's all I really need in my life. So I'm all about it. I will buy it on site, instantaneously, without question.
They just need to start making more Incineroar.
That is fair.
My boy needs love.
That is fair. And so you bet yourself when I get this toy, you're going to be hearing Snorlax noises throughout this entire show.
I have it any other way.
Exactly. And I also like how they packaged him with like his feet inside the cardboard. And so he's just this big, round, happy thing sitting in this plastic tub. Or cardboard tub, basically. And it's adorable. I love it. Whoever greenlit that toy deserves to be head manager. And after that is My Partner Eevee. Not too long ago, they made a My Partner Pikachu, which is conveniently sitting right here on my desk because I got it for $10 at Walgreens.
That's like the little one that's like $19.99 normally, right?
Yeah, I got them for like $10.
We have too many of them in my store.
It's very obnoxious.
Just a bit, yeah.
But it was, again, $10, and I couldn't pass up. I'm dead.
I love how he keeps cutting himself off.
Yeah, I'm just going to turn him right off. So I don't know if the Eevee one is going to be more tolerable than the Pikachu one.
Probably not.
I will also get the Eevee one when it's $10 at Walgreens. There is a video. You can talk to it. So this one's got like speaker recognition. The Pikachu one's all through like touch, but the Eevee one responds to audio cues, which is potentially worse. I don't know. But it's a thing you could purchase. And of course, there's a bunch of plushes. They show off the sleeping Pikachu. 18 inches? Jeez. I don't know what other new plushes there were. Zeus now wants to leave the room, and he can't because the door closed behind him. So that's something that you're probably going to hear. But I'm going to keep going. Oh, Lord.
If they really want to be gutsy, they need to put out a Snorlax that's bigger than the massive, gigantic one that people had to like transport from the UK.
Oh, gosh. I don't remember how big that one is compared to the one that I have. And the one that I have is massive.
That was such a good story, though, of that guy just like chronicling his like doing everything in his.
Okay, you tell the story of the guy. I'm gonna this problem.
Okay, so basically, what it was, I believe it was Bandai, Premium Bandai made this just enormous, like practically a full size, like beanbag sized Snorlax plush. And there was this one Twitter thread of this one guy who had gotten it as a gift, I believe. He was in the UK, had to get to America. And he was just chronicling this whole massive, amazing journey of all the trials and tribulations of like trying to get it on planes, you know, trying to make him fit in different containers. And I think like during the home stretch, it was just like slowly bursting from the box that it was being kept in. But thankfully he made it home safe and got to go on a big adventure. But if you can ever find that Twitter thread, that is an amazing story.
I just have to give props to this guy for, like, it was a process. Dude.
Yeah, no. Like I if I was in issues, I would have been like, okay.
But I appreciate the commitment to, I purchased this, I have to figure out how to get it home. I respect that.
Yeah.
So looking at some of this stuff, there is a sizable amount of new of the battle feature figures. Some look good, some of them don't. I'm
looking at Snorlax with his freaking like Chuck E. Cheese animatronic mouth.
The Snorlax is like doing this big stretch thing. I don't know what he's doing, but I love him. He's stupid. The Scissor looks good. The Gengar, I've seen the Gengar's not bad. The Charizard's kind of bad. The Machamp's not bad. He's got little buttons on the back that make his arms flex.
Yeah, isn't it like one's inward, one's upward?
Yeah. And Garchomp is probably a biting action, I would think.
That or a flap.
But on the back wall, it shows that there's going to make a Arcanine and a Pangoro, which is two Pokemon I love. So
Pangoro needs more love.
Yes.
More dark types in general.
He is misunderstood. Love. He just needs some love.
He's a big brother.
There's a Haunter, which they did through like a stand with little spokes coming out for the hands. So props to them on figuring out how to do a Haunter figure.
Yeah, no, I will say though, like I'm sure if you get the right lighting and setup for it, you could probably pull off some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But just the picture of him with the stand and his limbs just like
right. And unfortunately, that's about all I.
Oh, there's also the little Grookey in the background too.
Yeah.
With another Pikachu figure because we don't have enough of them.
Yeah, that looks to be all that he posted on his Twitter. Because the next pictures are all the Halo line, which actually looks really good if you like Halo.
And if you want to look along with us, the Twitter user is ARMZA or ARMZ Aaron with 2 A's on Twitter.
Yes.
And so if you want to like look along at the pictures with us instead of dealing with us trying to like fumble and describe them.
Again, something I should have at the beginning, but
nah.
And the figure 2 packs, there's like Angry Jigglypuff. There's single packs of the middle stage Kanto starters. There's one thing I want to get to in a minute. I want to make sure there isn't anything I'm missing first. It's all just more Pokemon that they haven't released yet. Some of which they have, because they're their staple Pokemon that they need to release all the time in every wave. Looking at you, Pikachu and Mimikyu and Psyduck.
Hey, don't talk smack on Mimikyu.
I mean, I would never.
Mimikyu has earned its right to be merch to hell and back.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's all Mimikyu really wanted in life anyway.
Yeah.
So that's fair. It just achieved its goal.
Screw all the people working at Big Pikachu trying to shut Mimikyu down.
In this house, we are against the Big Pikachu Corp.
Hell yeah.
I think
Chonky Boy Pikachu.
Right. That's allowed. That's a subsidiary that's very friendly.
We're a Chonk only zone.
Chonkachu only. Where's my Chonk plush? Back in 1998, I guess, but
Hey, soon we'll probably get an absurd amount of Chonkachu.
I need a Gigantamax Pikachu and Gigantamax Snorlax figure or something.
Could you imagine a G-Max Snorlax plush?
I need it. I don't even care if it's a tiny one. I just need it. I want it to be in scale so like my Moncali figures can sit in the part of Snorlax's chest.
Could you imagine the nightmare that would be trying to implement that?
I'd do it.
I know you would.
I would do it. I would hate every minute of it, but I would do it. More importantly, my wallet would hate every minute of it, but my wallet doesn't have feelings anymore.
Yeah, no, our wallets died long ago.
But the most interesting thing I think to come out of Toy Fair is this like 1/10 scale like collector line. And I don't know any details about it. I don't know like price or anything like that. But the first one releases Mewtwo because Mewtwo.
Yeah.
And it's on this beautiful stand, and I'll try to make sure that Devin gets the picture so it can be included.
Yes, because I have not heard about this.
It's in that guy that I thought was really annoying his video. And again, he didn't source where he got the pictures from, so I have no idea where this picture came from. But it looks a little bit like the D-Arts or the figure art release. But a little bit closer in line with the Tomy figure, just in terms of it not being figure art. But it looks nice. The posability doesn't look to be that good, but I also don't know how far in production this is. This could just be a model. But it's on this big stand with like levitating, like psychic, probably Shadow Ball attacks. And it's
is that the thing that's in the background on the picture with all the action feature figures?
Let me check.
No, that's a deluxe action, which weirdly enough looks like a Mewtwo with 3 arms.
Oh yeah, that is what it looks like. Yes. So yeah, this looks really good. If the price is right, even if these aren't like action figures, I would get these if these were just statues. Like it looks really nice. Like if they can be priced to where they're not as expensive as like the artifacts or the GEM statues,
maybe like a 20 to 30 range.
But if they're like only $30, I'll buy into this. I need more statues in my life. But we will see. But I thought that was most interesting because I wasn't expecting something like that out of Wicked Cool. So they're doing a lot of cool stuff, but they're owned by Jazzwares, and Jazzwares does really cool stuff. So interesting. So there is that. That's actually all I got for Pokemon Toy Fair stuff. I will try to find as many pictures as I can to link to in the description, but I can't promise anything because I had a hard enough time finding the ones I found. So, if I was there this year, I would have took my own pictures.
I mean, if you were there this year, I would have been there too.
That's fair.
Granted, I'd be in the hotel room probably just waiting for pictures and being like, ooh, that's cool.
I mean, that's what Chris did last year, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is that for Toy Fair, as much as I wish there was some more cool stuff to talk about in the realm of Pokemon.
It was definitely, I feel, in a lot of spots, a lot quieter of a Toy Fair than most years.
Yeah, I don't think there was as many big bombshells as there was in some years. I think there was bigger bombshells in other franchises. Franchises that I don't particularly follow a whole lot. I know Ghostbusters got a lot of love at this Toy Fair.
I will say, though, some of that new Ghostbusters stuff looks real good.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. I'm a very casual Ghostbusters fan. It's like none of this really impacted me, but
that's another hole I'm like dangerously venturing closer towards.
And that is fair. But yes, like I said, it wasn't a huge week of news, but we'll have a lot of stuff to cover next recording between the trailer and the new Mythical and any other TCG stuff that pops up with. I feel like we get new TCG product announcements like every week almost. It's a dangerous hole. dangerous hole. And hopefully we get some more information on the DLC packs soon, because I want some more infos
Yes,
I'm
no,
so excited
I need
for the
all
DLC.
of it.
And I mean, just kind of speaking of the DLC, I just kind of want to throw my opinion out there real quick that
Yes.
love the fact that we're doing DLC. I just looking at the price. I mean, $30 for 2 DLC packs is half price compared to if they made a full new game.
Yeah,
and
the fact we're getting new legendaries, new characters, new regional forms, like, and I feel like we're getting more packed into these DLC than we would if we had gotten a third version.
Oh, absolutely, and that's kind of why I like it so much. Is that I feel like these 2 DLC packs are offering, like, I feel 1 DLC pack is offering maybe what a new game would give us.
Yeah.
And I say maybe just looking at Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where like the new content there was very minimal. I mean, the way that I look at Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was, this is what Sun and Moon should have been initially.
Yeah.
And like, so if you haven't played Gen 7, just play the Ultra games. It's very much just how Sun and Moon should have been anyway.
Still love Sun and Moon though.
Absolutely. So I just feel like this was definitely the way to go. You can add in a bunch of new Pokemon through this method. You can add a bunch of the old Pokemon that didn't make it in the game the first time around.
Plus, even if you don't get the DLC, you still have full access to the guys that are coming back.
Yeah, like if you, as long as this isn't your first Pokemon game, as long as this isn't your first rodeo, and you have them in like Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, any of the Let's Go games, anything like that you can just continue, anything from Gen 3 onward can eventually get transferred to Sword and Shield.
Exactly.
So as long as you have those Pokemon, you can transfer them over without needing to buy the DLC. I think that's a good move on their part too, because it means that while the new content is paywalled or whatever people say, the older Pokemon that are getting reintroduced aren't. So I think that's a nice way of going about things. I'm really excited for this new story content, the new raids, and all that fun stuff that
the new legendaries
this time around. And new Pokemon is always just great in general.
And the fact that they
love it,
at least in my opinion, finally made the legendary bird way cooler.
Oh gosh, yes. These new forms of whatever they may end up being are great.
Ultra's finally gotten out of the rubber chicken stigma.
Yes, bless it. That's why it's so. That's why it looks like a dark type.
Yeah,
it's been bullied so much that it turned to the darkness.
Started getting jacked.
And Zapdos just became an ostrich
which I still think out of the 3, I think Zapdos is my favorite of these Galarian forms.
Yeah, I love Zapdos. It's great
because all of them look like they're gonna mess you up, but like Zapdos looks like he's gonna be ready to mess you up before he even sees you.
Oh yeah, Zapdos will mess you up before you see it.
Yes,
because I expect the base speed on that thing to be insane.
Oh no, he's gonna be a freaking bullet.
Electric types in general are usually really fast, and an ostrich,
yeah,
he's gonna zip zap their way into killing you. That is what's gonna happen. But yeah, like I'm really super excited for this. I think DLC was a great way to go, and everything that they've shown thus far, it has been terrific. Like that morning where we had the Pokemon Direct, like, because I leave my house for work usually about 10 or so, give or take. I work at 10:30. Takes about 15 minutes to get there. And so the Direct was at 9. So like I got up, watched the Direct, and like the whole way driving to work, I'm like, that was amazing.
Yeah, no, like there wasn't a second of that Direct that wasn't just like the most amazing thing ever.
And like they just kept piling it on too. It was like so much stuff in rapid succession. It's like, here's new areas. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And they're like, here's a Slowpoke, and here's a sneak peek at Slowbro and Slowking, and here's birds, and here's like all of the past legendaries that are going to be available in raids. And here's all this other new characters. I'm like, oh.
I'm so ready for these 2 new Reggies.
Yes, Reggie.
And I'm
whatever.
Ready to hear their horrifying computer noises and when they get it.
I love the Reggies. They're terrifying as all hell. I love them.
Yeah, they are great.
And honestly, I love the Reggies because of their anime cries. Like that is.
Oh no, they're great.
100% why I love them. I remember watching Lucario and the Mystery Meme and just freaking out over the Reggies. I'm like, that is the creepiest stuff I've ever heard.
Yeah, because
I
it's
love
it. They're equal parts like golems, but also like kind of computers.
Yeah, which is weird because one of them is literally made out of rock. But you know,
hey, the Flintstones can make a TV work with rocks.
That's fair. Flintstones are just witches. Let's be honest.
You heard it here first.
Flintstones equals witches.
Does Flintstone is witches?
Yes. Welcome to my conspiracy corner, where I'm going to out the Flintstones as witches.
This is where we
did
turn
that television work.
And this is where the big twist comes, and turns out this is just a Flintstone conspiracy podcast.
Look, I'm in.
Could you imagine that after like what, an hour of Pokemon talk? Just be like, bam, Flintstones conspiracy.
Pokemon's great, but have you heard my Flintstones conspiracy theory? They're all witches.
I hope you guys are ready for never-ending beratement of stuff like this.
Yep, I'll make up a bunch of Flintstone conspiracies. We'll be here all day. We'll be in episode 10, and I'll still be talking about Flintstone conspiracies. Don't you worry.
Enjoy the first running joke of the podcast.
Flintstone conspiracies are our first in-joke. I'm very proud, to be honest.
If you have a Flintstone conspiracy theory, tweet at us.
Yeah. I want to hear your hot, juicy Flintstone conspiracy theories. Bonus points if you somehow work Pokemon into the Flintstone conspiracy theory.
Yeah, no, you'll get personal shoutouts.
Yeah. We're desperate for shoutouts, so. Wait, edit that out.
Nah.
You're right. That's my general thought process when I'm editing a show. I'm like, no, that's funny.
And I look forward to just how many times we're going to say, we'll edit this out, and then just immediately, while still recording, be like, nah.
Oh, yeah, always. I'm on the show. Always.
I'm the one editing it, so I'm not going to take it out.
That's fair. We're professionals.
Yeah.
Says the person that's been podcasting since, 2009.
And the guy who's
barely
dipped his toes in.
It is still very unprofessional in everything I do.
Only the best.
Professional, unprofessional. But yeah, I dare say that is probably about it for this one. It's a nice little introductory episode. Like I said, we will be talking about the anime as it airs in Japan, but unfortunately I'm a little bit behind, so I'm going to be spending
a couple
days catching up. And once we're current, we'll be talking about those as they air in the land of Japan, Nippon, whatever you want to call it.
Kanto.
Kanto.
Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh.
All of them together. So we'll be talking about that, and we'll also be using this tail end of the podcast to answer viewer questions. So if you have any sort of questions, you can email them to
snoreandroarcast@gmail.com. That's SNOREANDROARCAST@gmail.com. Or you can always tweet at us at Snoreandroar.
Thank you, because you did that, not me. So
I realized I didn't even bother telling you. Yeah,
I wanted you to do it. We'll be doing that toward this tail end of the podcast as well. If you want to follow me, we already went over this at the beginning of the show, but if you somehow don't know me, you can follow me on Twitter at CollectorShuki. And that's honestly about it. I don't really use Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. I'm a Twitter soul through and through, for better or worse.
Yeah, no, same.
So you can follow me on Twitter at CollectorShuki. And if you want to check out any of my old YouTube stuff, that's at youtube.com/CollectorShuki. Currently in retirement phase, but maybe we'll come back sometime in the future. But I got a bunch of Pokemon content on there if you want to check.
And if you want to follow me, because let's face it, out of the two of us, you're probably following him before you're following me. You can follow me at Joker13DX on Twitter. That's about the only place I am, really. And
I just don't get Instagram. I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Twitter, but you're obligated to have to put media with it.
Yeah, I don't want to. Like, I'm an old man. I just let me type, and that's it. That's all I want to do in life is just type.
Yeah, I don't want to have to take a random picture
I'm not
to say
pretty.
I pooped
I don't
today.
belong on Instagram.
You're beautiful in your own way.
Make an Instagram account specifically for my giant Snore. It's just pictures of him.
Just get like a green screen, just have them in different locations.
That's an idea that I really want to do. Never will.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day, I say as I'm shaking my head. All right. Microsoft account problem. Okay, cool. I love that.
Yay.
That startled the heck out of me. But anyway, thanks for watching our first pilot episode of Snore and Roar, a Pokemon podcast. As I say in the most fanciest way possible at the beginning of this show, and never again. Because, again, that was a one and done. So,
quality.
Until next episode where I do it fancy again. Keeps you on your toes. But I hope you enjoyed. Give us any feedback you want on the show in the comments below, or through the email, or through the Twitter. Whatever you would like to do, we will respond either in the next show or in those facets. I say facets a lot. I really do.
Hey, you're saying it for all the people that don't, which there aren't many people that do. So you'll be the champion of facets.
I am the champion of facets, as well as the champion of faucets.
Yeah.
And all the facets of faucets.
There's gotta be at
sense
least
another inside joke on me. I'm... Never mind.
And the outlets of outlines.
The outlets of outlines.
The real question is...
Outlines of the outlets.
The real question is, how do you figure out the facets of the outlets of the online? Damn it. Bye.
What?